Jacob Ziv was a groundbreaking scientist, a pillar, founder, and leader of the Israeli information science and communication technology. The legacy of the late Professor Jacob Ziv spans a remarkable path from the defense industries in 1955 to Raphael in 1962, to the Technion in 1970, and to the Israel Academy of Sciences and Humanities from 1981 until being taken away from us. We have gathered here at the Israel Academy for a memorial assembly honoring the legacy of Jacob Ziv. The monumental legacy of Jacob Ziv rests on the building of bridges between disciplines, technologies, ideas, and leadership, bridging information theory and communication, computer technology, active scientists, original ideas, and scientific technological leadership, thus ensuring the most important element of the qualitative edge of the State of Israel. Dear members of Professor Jacob Ziv family, it is a privilege to have you with us. We are looking forward to the address of Jacob's son, Noam Ziv. It is an honor to extend warmest welcome to the members of the scientific technological family of Jacob, academic sons, Merhav and Shammai, his students, collaborators, and scientific technological comrades in arms who continue to spread the perceptive legacy of Jacob. I wish to convey warm regards and greetings of welcome to colleagues and friends of Jacob who came from far and near to attend this memorial assembly, honoring his monumental legacy and remarkable contributions on the national and international levels. I wish to welcome also Gideon Frank, a close friend of Jacob, to whom we listened, were impressed with, and with whom Jacob had collaborated for decades for various government academic joint projects. Regarding for those who came from Israel, it is a great honor to welcome Shlomo Shammai, Nerim, Merav, and Moti Segev, colleagues and students of Jacob, and the chairman of the organizing committee of this memorial assembly. Thank you, my friends, for the great organization. Regarding those who came from abroad, it is a privilege to extend the honor welcoming Professor Andrew Viterbi, with whom we listened so eagerly and were so much impressed by the impressive presentation. Your presence, Professor Viterbi, at this memorial assembly reflects the international dimensions of Jacob contribution and the deep significance of friendship between scientific leaders. The Israeli Academy of Sciences is deeply moved and proud to organize this memorial assembly, honoring the legacy of the seventh president of our academy. We are honored to have past and present presidents of the academy and members of the Israeli Academy attending this memorial assembly. My prologue to the commemorative assembly honoring Jacob will be adopted to the seminal contributions during 1977-78 to information science and technology in Israel and worldwide, obtained by himself and with Zakai, Weiner, Merhav, and Shammai. And in particular by the development, together with Abraham Lempel, of the famous, important, high-impact Lempel-Sieve algorithm for lossless compression of computer data that will be addressed by Merhav at this meeting. The what we call LZ algorithm changed the facets of data science and considered as a cornerstone in communication and computer science and engineering. Jacob worked up to the last moment of his life on his major interest of mathematical theory and individual sequences. His last research subject, conducted jointly with Kasuta, was developed to the efficient compression and transmission of long arbitrary sequences, including DNA data. Their research is based on Ziv's individual sequences approach to information theory. The remarkable scientific technological accomplishments of Jacob reflect on a world-class scientist and scientific leader, a builder of the research infrastructure in science, and the founder of science policy in Israel. His outstanding, broad scientific work makes seminal, unique, and original contribution and transcend to encompass basic and applied science as well as international science technological policy. These involve also defense R&D, the development of energy sources, and the establishment and infrastructure and leadership of science policy. These mark revolution which leads Israel and the advanced world towards the promised land, what we may call, being characterized by norms, values, operational criteria, and image of an advanced society. We honor the legacy of Jacob as an outstanding Israeli, how do you call it, abbreviation, ICT, and leader whose broad research interests include compression data, information theory, and statistical communication. Some very brief biographical notes may be in order. Jacob was appointed as a faculty member at the Technion in 1970, when he was promoted to the rank of professor in 1972, and over the next half-century moved to the Technion highest academic rank of a distinguished professor in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, where he served until his last day. Apart from his outstanding research, he made seminal contributions to the leadership of national higher education and research systems and infrastructure. He was a world-class scientific leader in computer science, electrical engineering, and data science, being nationally and internationally renowned and respected in the element of his remarkable activity. And let me list for you the 7 elements of his remarkable activities. Element 1 involved his outstanding basic research accomplishment. In this respect, I am proud to say the Israel Academy of Sciences operated a glorious tradition, initiated by the first vice president of the Academy, Professor Aaron Katzir, of Academy officials being involved in outstanding basic research, which accordingly President Jacob Ziv followed faithfully. Element 2 involved integration between basic and technological research, concurrently with major contributions to basic research. Professor Ziv was definitely involved in outstanding accomplishment in technology. This started in 1955, when he continued till 1959, when he returned from Israel, from research in the US, where he was employed in Israel for the development of arms in the Israeli Ministry of Defense, serving as director of its Department of Communications. Element 3 involved his international R&D activities. These were manifested during 1997 until 1992, when he was visiting scholar at Bell Laboratories. Element 4 rested on outstanding national leadership in the Israeli science technology community, manifested by 2 modes of operation at the University Grants Committee and at the Israeli Academy of Sciences. During his service as a chairman of the University Grants Committee, major contributions were made by Yaakov to organization of basic research and university infrastructure. First, he introduced and developed multi-annual budget, which was approved by the Treasury and constituted a vital component of financing of basic research infrastructure in the higher education system. Second, the establishment of excellent working conditions with the Treasury made the University Grants Committee a major component of decision-making for scientific financial research. Third, he created the development of a perception project between the Treasury and the defense system. During the Professor Ziv's service as president of the Israel Academy, he established in 1997 the National Forum for Research Infrastructure, TELEM, for the Assembly of National Funds and set-ups of advanced basic research, and for the identification of novel, promising research areas. As an excellent presentation was presented previously by Shlomo Ullman, I will only add one element of the TELEM project. Many individuals in Israel, the US, worldwide, provide support for the scientific enterprise by serving on committees and boards of organizations. But very few created a new organization. The creation of the TELEM Forum by Jacob drove the dialogue and collaboration between young, promising scientists with new and original ideas. Element 5 was based on the combination of Jacob's contributions to computer science and information theory to Israel defense R&D. In this realm, his work at Raphael paved the way to the development of new research areas which immensely contribute to the security of the State of Israel. Element 6 was his important contribution to our capabilities in defense R&D by the unification, bringing together of various different established within the academia. His joining forces was the brainchild of Jacob, and he has the only personality and ability to convince the Israeli universities and the Israeli Academy of Sciences to give their blessing and support to this endeavor. A major component of this unification was the Thought Project, translated in Hebrew, Project Machshava, between universities and the defense system. This activity still continues and has accomplished tremendous achievement. The last element 7, there is a final central element underlying the success of Professor Ziv to the high quality of science and technology, and this is the quality of practitioners of science and technology, where this outstanding human capital is driving Israel towards becoming a startup nation in science and technology, with excellence being the name of the game. He was involved in the promotion and support of the highest quality research leadership in these security areas. Professor Ziv, to summarize, was an outstanding first-class academic and research leader who exerted monumental influence on the establishment of planning promotion and development on science and technology in Israel. The majority of Jacob's accomplishment was at the Technion, and let me say very few words about this. Jacob developed a real devotion and pride being a faculty member of the department in the Technion, and he accepted the responsibility of serving as a dean, of which has become in 2021 the Andrew and Erna Viterbi Faculty of Electrical and Computer Engineering, a cornerstone of Israel's strength in engineering. Jacob's leadership contributed immensely to Israel's excellence in communication and information science and technology, areas of his prolific, groundbreaking activities and revolutionary contribution. He was a good citizen of the Technion, and once he was called to the flag by the legendary Technion president Amos Chorev to serve 4 years as the vice president for academic affairs, what is the provost of the Technion. He accepted the position and served as the academic compass, road mapping the Technion academic success. He was instrumental in resolving various complex issues and controversial in good spirit and harmony, benefiting from the combination of his wisdom, social skills, and touch of his special sense of humor. Although Jacob was a theoretician, he nevertheless had deep interest in practical but challenging engineering problems. He appreciated the understanding and the need for expensive experimental infrastructure that is required by experimentalists. In his position as vice president, he adopted the philosophy that outstanding, promising young scientists should be budgeted with the best affordable tools according to their fields of activities and needs, using a metamorphosic example from the world of music. He argued, and I quote, "An outstanding violinist should be equipped by the best violin, which costs by far much more than the best drums, but in order to have a leading orchestra, we cannot have only drums players." Later in his career, he adopted this policy on the national level. Although Jacob was a good citizen of the Technion, he didn't shy away from public administrative academic posts when his colleagues from across the campus tried to exert pressure on him to become the president of the Technion. Jacob resisted, arguing that as long as there are good candidates who are eager to serve in this position, there is no reason that he should compromise his importance of most significant devotion to his time to research, which indeed, in the real analysis, contributed tremendously to the international standing of the Technion and the entire Israeli research academic system. This brings me almost to the end, to the remarkable national service of an outstanding scientist. When Jacob completed in 2004 9 years of service as the president of the Israel Academy, he addressed the Science Technology Committee of the Knesset, stating that the success of Israel as a nation of science is based on the marked excellence, that I emphasize the excellence of research and development policy. The success of Israel in scientific and technological innovation rests, according to him, on the following cornerstone. First, the independence of the higher education and basic research system from political interference. Second, high investment in defense and agricultural research, driving the capacity of the industry and economy. And third, a major investment in oriented R&D from government ministers. Let me say in retrospect that this situation was valid in 2005, being drastically changed in the last few years to 3 years under the new government. Reflecting on scientific technological legacy of Jacob, which mark encompassing extracurricular obligations, as was the case for some of us, for Jacob, this involved his deep obligation to Israel and its security defenses. His outstanding work at Raphael greatly reflected on the fulfillment of this obligation. His deep commitment beautifully showed the obligation of an outstanding Israeli scientist to his country, which he fulfilled extensively, effectively, and successfully. For his remarkably innovative achievement and extraordinarily important solutions to outstanding problems, Jacob was awarded twice the Israeli Defense Prize. For those of us, putting it in retrospect, for those of us who are familiar with the technology of reverse engineering of the Russian missile systems developed by Jacob Ziv and Moshe Zakkai during the Yom Kippur War in 1973, neither of the two Israeli Defense Prizes awarded to Jacob for this remarkable joint accomplishment, but rather for other achievements that it's still too early to disclose. Let me just say that both Jacob and Moshe Zakkai were proud of their joint achievement. The contributions and leadership of Jacob in national R&D made him an authoritative member of advisory committee to prime ministers of Israel and a member of multiple committees and professional staff of prime minister and government authorities. In these capacities, Jacob excelled as a member of the Defense Advisory for R&D, which established the Ephraim Katzir program for recruitment of young, outstanding scientists in the defense system, in the defense industry or defense system. To strike a personal note, during my service as president of the National Academy, I acted as scientific advisor to 3 prime ministers of Israel, Shamir, Rabin, and Peres. When Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir, who did not know Jacob at that time, asked me to chair the Science Defense Advisory Board to the Prime Minister, I reviewed for him the potential board members, among them Jacob Ziv. In his open, candid manner, Prime Minister Shamir asked me, and I quote, "And who is Professor Ziv?" ? My immediate answer was, he is the recipient of 2 Israel Defense Prizes. Since then, Prime Minister Shamir has shown great respect to Jacob Ziv. Finally, I come to the national and international recognition that was mentioned in detail before, and rightly so. Jacob was one of the most highly decorated Israeli scientists. The quality, scope, leadership, and impact of Jacob's scientific technological contributions was widely recognized, respected, admired, and honored. The extensive list of honors, prizes, and recognition bestowed on Jacob is remarkable, and I must say also awe-inspiring. On the national level, he was awarded all the possible prizes, from the 2 Israeli Defense Prizes to the Israeli Prize, and so on, and so on. He received honorary doctorate, for instance, from Tel Aviv University. He received a doctorate for accomplishment in information and in engineering, for major contributions of making Israel a leader in the world of communication, for strengthening and development of high education system, and for contribution to the security of Israel. On the international level, it's also remarkable, he was granted in the United States as a foreign member of 4 academies of sciences: the Academy of Engineering, the Academy of Arts and Sciences, the National Academy of Sciences, and the Philosophical Society. That's very rare, even in the great United States. In 2004, the IEEE declared that the work of Lempel and Ziv is a cornerstone in electrical and computer engineering, and contributed significantly to the conversion of the Internet into an effective tool in global communication. In 2009, he was awarded one of the 2 most prestigious European prizes. One of them is, of course, the Nobel Prize. Coming to my last word before a story, Professor Jacob Ziv was a great scientist whose legacy led to the promised land of data science, computer science, and communication science in Israel and worldwide. We have lost a great scientist and an outstanding scientific technological leader. Let me close, for the chairman, let me close with a citation from the scripts of wisdom of Israel that stays in Hebrew, essentially in Aramaic, the ancient Hebrew, Harel al De'avdin. We really miss him.